Oh, this is fun. You guys. Oh, I love being out in the garden after it rains. I have been having this issue, and I don't know if anybody can tell me what it is. So many weeds this year, which is crazy to me because we've had no rain. So there should be no weeds. Hey, good morning. My name is Crystal. Welcome to our channel. It is the day after the rain. We had some rain yesterday and it was glorious. It was so nice. I couldn't stop looking out the window and just seeing all the rain falling on our garden, and it was just lovely. We live in Connecticut and we haven't had rain for a very, very, very long time. We had a little tiny bit of rain over the weekend. It was very brief. I got very excited that maybe we were gonna get some good watering here, and we didn't. And then yesterday it rained pretty much the entire day, on and off. Not a super heavy rain. I don't have a good rain gauge out here. I wish I did. I have one in my basement that I haven't brought out yet, so I need to do that. But we did get a decent amount of rain. I would say maybe like an inch, just over an inch of rain. The kids and Steve and I, we came out in the rain yesterday and walked around the garden. There was a possible threat of a lot of wind, and I had noticed that some of the plants had fallen over. I tied some of those up. I can't wait to walk through the garden and see how everything looks, so that's what we're gonna do this morning. I also have my harvest basket and some snips, so I'm gonna go around and prune and do some things. Thought I'd bring you along with me while I do that. We are forecasted to get some not so great temperatures here. We live in New England and it's gonna be really, really hot. We're forecasted to be around in the 90s for the next several days, and that is considered a heat wave if we are into the 90s. So not super excited about it because I really am not a fan of the heat. I prefer cooler temperatures. I'm just that kind of a person. If we could move further north, I would. I like the coolness. That's why I'm out here first thing in the morning. It's nice. There's a breeze right now. It's not super hot. The sun hasn't completely come out yet. So this is the time that I want to hurry up and get in the garden and do what I need to do. Hey, could you give this video a thumbs up? I normally save it for the end. I've started looking into our analytics a little more, and I see when people start to drop off and stop watching our videos. Give this video a thumbs up. I would super appreciate it. And let's get started. Right, so here we are over by the tomatoes. They're starting to look really nice. I'm very excited to get some fresh tomatoes. There we go, look at that. That one's upstate Oxheart, looking great. Moved the shade cloth back yesterday so that the rain could get into this bed here. So I'll go ahead and show you what my cabbage plant looks like. Just completely inundated with worms. I'm gonna let it keep growing and we'll see what happens with it, but I don't really have high hopes for that. There are a lot of things that we're gonna be harvesting, but I'm gonna go ahead and put the shade cloth back before it gets too hot out. All right, moving on. Here is a look at our hot pepper bed. I am so excited. I love growing hot peppers. It's just really fun for me. These are the pumpkin spice jalapenos. They turn orange. And then we have a bunch of regular jalapenos in there, and these are some cayenne long slim peppers, Hungarian hot wax, and those are regular jalapenos there. And then over here we have some sweet peppers. Those ones are, I think, King of the North. I'm not sure, but I got some nice bell peppers growing here. So those are some lilac bell peppers, I think. More bell peppers in here, and weeds. So many weeds this year, which is crazy to me because we've had no rain, so there should be no weeds. My potatoes are starting to grow too. So this is our cucumber bed. We used this bed for winter squash and ground cherries and things and melons last year. So this year I have cucumbers trellised. I usually plant 2 to 4 cucumber plants together. This one's a Boston pickling. I have a couple of the plants trellising up, and then a couple of the plants climbing on the ground, or crawling, I should say, crawling on the ground. And then here we have the green 18 hybrid from Mowing. Silver slicers in here on the ground. Lots of melons. And then there's a whole variety of more cucumbers behind here. Just different ones. I like to grow different things. That is a tomatillo plant. That is, I believe, a crimson giant tomato right in the middle. And these are all melons. And we already got a sugar baby growing back there. That's from a volunteer plant. And then we have some squash in here, summer squash. These ones didn't get pollinated, so they aren't looking great. I'll have to pick those off and give them to the chickens. And we have some in here that are growing. There's Adirondack blue potatoes in there. I don't see any new growth on that yet. Here's our sweet potato bed, and this is just kind of a collection of different things. I've let this lettuce go to seed. I also have this basil plant that I was growing indoors in our arrow garden that I transferred outside. I've let that go to seed also. And then we have winter squash plants in here. This is a honey nut squash climbing and a butternut squash on this side. Celery, a summer squash, a couple of Chicago pickling plants in the corner there. Our blueberries on that side. Another pumpkin spice jalapeno plant. I do have more plants over here. I think these are all San Marzano tomatoes. We have serrano chili peppers and onions, a whole collection of tomatoes. If you've been here a little bit, you know that I like to grow all kinds of different things. These are Amish paste and Roma VF tomatoes. This is Ford Hook zucchini, starting to grow some more. And these are the plants I want to prune a little bit. And then this is the F1 zucchini that I've been harvesting readily off of, but it looks like it's slowed down production just a little bit. So I'm gonna try pruning and fertilizing and see how that goes. We have a golden zucchini plant here. This is an August ambrosia watermelon, some different tomato plants. It looks like this one has fallen over. This is a Rosella tomato, another crimson giant, more tomatoes. The only eggplant that's doing well for me this year is this Rosita eggplant. So I'm trying to take care of it as much as I can. I also have crimson sweet watermelon growing in here. I have provider bush beans planted. Those should sprout anytime now. I also planted some over here, and 2 of the 4 have sprouted there. More tomatoes, another sugar baby watermelon in there, more tomatoes, Chicago pickling cucumber, a stunted ground cherry plant that's just taking its time growing. There's my kiwi berry vines on the outside. Here's the artichoke plant, and these over here are looking so great. This is a green machine zucchini, and this is what I'm talking about here. I've already been picking zucchinis off of this. I see 4 on here right now, and there's 2 more over here, and another with a flower, so maybe 4 or 5. It's such a great plant. I also have golden zucchini, one that wasn't pollinated, and then there's one that was, and that's starting to grow. I've never had it before, so I'm excited about that one. And I believe that's an early prolific squash that's fallen over in the back. A couple King of the North peppers and some sheep nose pimento peppers back there. And some more tomatoes to tie up. But that is how the garden looks right now. That's just inside the garden. We have pear trees up there, strawberries, stuff on the outside, green beans on the outside, fruit over there. The sun's broken through. I'm already starting to feel the heat here. I'm gonna hurry up and get going. All right, so this one's a Ford Hook zucchini, and the leaves, some of the leaves on the bottom are not looking great, so I'm gonna go ahead and prune those off. So now that I've cut that, I have here a mixture of garden soil and granular fertilizer. I'm gonna bury my cuttings here. See how that does. I'm gonna do the same thing for this green machine zucchini. Okay, over here I'm gonna just clip up some of these tomatoes. I really like these clips. Steve got some for me for Christmas on Amazon, and I've also seen them at the dollar store. I just really like the fact that I can keep them around the garden. I can reuse them next year. I just really did not like that tomato tape at all. I still have one more package here that I grabbed at the dollar store at some point. So that's what they look like. These were $1.25 and you get 20 of them. The smaller ones work good for like the cucumber vines and stuff. But these ones work better for the tomatoes. Oh, it's so much easier when nothing needs to be watered. Over here we have another green machine zucchini. I'm gonna harvest some of the zucchini off of it. Harvesting zucchini is so easy. All I do is grab it and I twist it. It comes right off. I try and pick them when they're fairly small. The ones that I like to get a little bit bigger, like the Coco Zell or the gray zucchini, I didn't get any of those seeds to germinate this year. Those ones I let get a little bit bigger because they're really good stuffed with sausage and cheese and things and roasted in the oven. Those ones are really good like that if you let them get a little bit bigger, in my opinion. The green machine, the Ford hook, and the summer squash I try and pick when they're on the smaller side. Now that one can probably go another day or so. Silver slicer cucumber. There's some more in there, but they're a little on the small side still. This one is the Green 18 hybrid from Mowing. Again, same thing with the cucumbers. I try and pick them on the small side before they get too large and seedy. This one is a Boston pickling cucumber. Wow, that may have gone a little bit too far, but we'll see. This variety is called Homemade Pickles. It's from Hudson Valley Seed Company. Oops. Another Boston pickling cucumber. There's another watermelon in there. Another sugar baby watermelon. Oh, that's so exciting. All right, I have an early prolific squash in here. But, ooze. Whoops. Tippy. Here we go. It's a nice one. Last night we ended up using our bug tongs on slugs that we saw in the garden. So we didn't have to touch the slugs. We got to use our tool. All right, in here, I did see on the other side, I have a couple, one or two New York slicing cucumbers growing, and they look really nice, but they're not nearly what the size that they should be just yet. So I'm gonna let those go for a little bit. Stay tuned for when I harvest that. But in here I have a bush pickling cucumber from Fruition seeds, and there's two plants in here that I've planted side by side. If you're interested in any of the videos regarding canning, I'll link the canning video I did last year on pickles. They came out so good. They were super crunchy and delicious. They were a perfect dill pickle. They were the best ones I've made so far. Ooh, a volunteer tomato. Do I let that go? I think I do. Over here we've got the pulling green beans on the cattle panel trellis. I have this. I have been having this issue, and I don't know if anybody can tell me what it is. I've been getting green beans that are getting eaten, and I don't know what's eating them. Does anybody know what it could be? You know, we assume like furry creatures, but I don't necessarily know that's what that is because it's kind of in an awkward position. But I keep finding half-eaten green beans on the trellis here, and it's kind of frustrating for me. Ooh, here's another one. Where is it? Here. Oh, if anybody knows what that is, I would appreciate it. Oh, this is fun. You guys. You guys. Oh, I love being out in the garden after it rains. Look at that. That is a loofah flower. We're finally growing loofah. I'm so excited. It's really climbing up the trellis here. And we have morning glories. I finally have sunflower blooms. That plant is a volunteer. It came up on its own. Probably one from one of the giant mammoth sunflowers that I grew last year. Drop seeds, and that's what popped up there. And there's another one over here. I love sunflowers, they're so cool. Our bee balm is jamming out over there with lots of bees. So I'm over here, we're gonna harvest some green beans. We've been eating pickled green beans that I canned up last year. They're so good. I've never had them before, and they pretty much just taste like pickles, like cucumber pickles, but they're green beans. And I used some of the pickle crisp in it, and they stayed crunchy. All right, I brought the carrots over here underneath the umbrella because it is already starting to get, it's so humid and it's so yucky. It's one thing to have the heat, but the humidity is no fun. So we're gonna start over on this one here. We have the Danvers half long. Now I don't know if they're short like this because they're supposed to be, because they're half long carrots, but they are delicious. We've been eating them. I haven't yet canned carrots. I would like to do that. I would also like to try pickled carrots. I've never tried those before. Normally, really the only way that we like to eat them is fresh. And we like cooked carrots occasionally in the fall and winter time, roasted carrots, but for the most part we usually eat them fresh. I usually buy at the grocery store the organic baby carrots, and that's what the kids eat. And then I cut the greens off the tops and give those to the chickens. Oh, that one looks kind of yucky. But to keep them fresh in the house after I wash them off really good, we store them in water in a container in the refrigerator, and that keeps them from getting soft. Some of these look okay. I'll have to look through them and see. And then this one, we've got the Dulcinea carrot. I really like these a lot. Not bad. Better than I've done before, for sure. They look so much nicer when you rinse them off. Hopefully you can hear me over the air conditioner and see me. I had to sit in the shade because it's really getting hot out. I can't believe it, how fast it changes like that. Anyway, here's the harvest basket. How exciting! I'm so excited. I love this time of year. It never gets old getting things out of the garden right outside my door and bringing it indoors. So we have carrots and squash and cucumbers and green beans, good stuff. I'm all done in the garden for today. I'm not going to do anything else other than possibly just go for a walk through it later and just check everything out and inspect for bugs and things, but nothing too drastic. It's going to be way too hot. It's nice not having to worry about watering them today. But I have to go in and do some homeschooling with the kids, and then we have a full day, full afternoon planned, so I gotta get ready. I'm all sweaty. I have to go wash up. But that'll do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope the weather where you are isn't too hot. Stay cool if it's too hot. Stay dry if it's too wet. And I really hope you have a wonderful day. And we will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.